welcome to the Meyer Studio Sketch Club. I am Cindy, and this is my husband Jason. And Izzy cooked a delicious pecan pie and helped in the kitchen, and I think ate a little bit too much, and so she is going to take the night off. And so I get to do the introduction. So thanks again for joining us. For those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. We are thankful that you're here with us. Tonight we're going to do one 20-minute sketch. And Jason's going to have an introduction to tonight's sketch before we begin at 7 o'clock. Remember, be loose, have fun, just enjoy it. And in the meantime, remember, we'll be back here again on Sunday with all new sketches. And if you have not already, please like this video and let us know you're here if you're new. And if not, also like and follow our Meyer Studio page. That helps us as well. So in the meantime, take it away, Mr. Meyer.
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody had a good day. So let's just jump right over to the iPad and talk about what's going to be happening tonight. So this is the image we'll be working on. The one I've hit, or the one I'm working on, I've done 15 minutes on so far. And what you're going to see tonight is I'm going to develop everything, but in particular, this tree, these hill right here is going to come alive. I'm going to put little bitty lights in there. And then once this light and clouds go in here, we're going to have a real nice focus around this part of the painting. So the job of this first is to walk you back into this. And then this too is just to kind of hold you down in there. So when you, if you're watching me tonight, you'll see those hills really come alive. They're going to be kind of loose and not really there. And then it literally it'll be a little hard edge with the white sky right there, and bang, it's going to come alive. So, no, I'm working abstract. If you're into this kind of thing, we're planning something big for December. I'm thinking about doing a feedback on people's paintings every morning in December on YouTube. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to stay tuned for that. And let's see, I think that's enough for that. Why don't we what? Why don't we go over to the full screen? And I'd like to share my screen and remind you guys that if you come over to the website, jasonmeyer.com, come up to Sketch Club Live. You'll have a little image menu pop down. It says Reference Images. Tap on that, and you'll see this week's Sketch Club's images. To enlarge them, make them full screen, just tap on them. And then you can work on them right there. Take a screenshot. If you really want to, when you tap on them again, it'll give you the option up here in the corner to focus in on that, and then you're able to drag it around if you want to get a better look. Okay, so with that in mind, how are we doing? Oh, we got 1 minute. Doing great.
Hello, Tom. Hi, Dorian.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
And there's a link.
There's the link. Oh, the website link is in the chat. My wonderful wife, Cindy, is handling all that. All right. So, hope you guys got your materials. And we're going to get going. Again, we're going to spend 20 minutes tonight, and you're going to see me work. It's funny. It's about the middle of the painting, not so much. But notice those trees will be in the foreground. The house with the little light will be in the midground, and then the sky will be background. And so even within that little stretch of canvas, you're going to see the focus. All right, what do you guys say we get ready? Mine says 7 o'clock. I say we go.
Hi, Karen.
Let's go.
Let's sketch.
Okay, we are up and running. So you can already kind of see those trees and the sky in the middle ground. And again, with my charcoal, I love working it on top and building it and rubbing it in and building up layers. And all these darks up here are doing is helping walk us back to those trees so that they seem further back into space. Okay, so one of the things, if you're trying to improve this, how hard or sensitive your touch is will affect how dark or light the mark is. See how these marks back here, I'm trying to keep those quite a bit lighter than the trees up front. And that's one of the things that makes it seem like there's a lot of distance in here. It's just dark and not so dark marks. But somehow your mind is saying distance. Oh, Miss Deb Kinney joined us tonight. Hello.
Hi, Deb.
Deb, glad you could make it.
We have our two Canadians with us tonight. I love it.
Again, just to remind everybody, on the website, jasonmeyer.com, under Sketch Club Live, there's a drop-down menu that'll say Reference Images. Click on those, and you can have access to this week's sketch images. If you're not working on it now, or you want to work on it some more, or get a better look at the photo, we aren't yet the Canadians. What does Deb say about the Canadians? We aren't full of turkey. What are you saying? What are you saying? I'm not sure how to take that, Deb.
We might be a little slow tonight in our food comas.
All right. So here comes that white. Thinking about building that up. And I want that white to be the most right here too, because that's what you'll go to. And then if it runs through those trees, and again, a hard edge against those hills, wow. How much do we really need to do? Right? Again, you need to leave some room for the viewer's imagination. Right? If they get to use their imagination, they're going to enjoy the work more. Fun part of art. So, yeah, we had a nice meal, and Izzy cooked a delicious pecan pie for me. They're my favorite. And then she may have ate a little too much. So her tummy's like, oh. She was, can I just lay here for a while? So I told her the people wanted to see her, but she said, I'll be back Sunday. So we'll have to come back Sunday.
Yep, as you say, gotta come back.
Come back Sunday for one of the cuter members of the family. And then as I'm making these light marks up here, if you'll notice that they're not as intense as that first one down by the trees, just a little less touch. So when you're working in mass, like I'm working, that's how painters tend to work and think, there can be a little bit of push and pull because you're really working on the relationship between those masses. So as I'm able to get this a little bit darker, and I'll rub it down just a bit, then I want to make sure that ground in front of it is less. And then I'm letting the value of the clouds kind of just spill in with that grayness of the distance. Right? But the shape and the edges say these are clouds, right? In the placement versus this is land. And when you see that hard edge of the land come in, like I told you on the mountains, it's coming, I promise. You're going to be surprised how it seems like all this detail was done. And it was just a little bitty mark. And up here again, this is just kind of grayness to push you down to that light of that clouds, sky, tree, hills, most intensity there. Just below middle, I would say. Just below middle. And notice where I'm asking you to focus is not a great big part of the painting as far as surface area goes. All right, that's an interesting thing too, how much of something and how much of nothing there is. And then, what constitutes nothing? What constitutes something? The big questions of life. The big questions in life. Like always, please remember, if you're happy with how yours turned out, or you don't mind sharing, even if you're not happy, please put the photo in the comments and even say something. Oh, I got stuck. I wasn't happy with how this turned out or something. But you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people out there sketching, and it'll kind of give them courage to share. Right? It doesn't always have to be masterpieces, especially on these quick sketches. But it's fun to see what other people are doing and to get some encouragement and some support.
Definitely.
Not required, not required. You can stay under the table sketching. Don't have to let anybody know. I get it. I'm an introvert myself. I'd rather be kind of a looky-loo, quietly watching than out there participating, but even you looky-loos need to share every now and then. It won't kill you.
Nope.
It won't kill you. Alright, so here's that dark I was talking about on walking back to those trees. Again, notice the grass is taller than the trees. And then as I walk back in space, the height of those grass is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That's one of the things that, again, gives a sense of distance. Oh, this is so fun. So, Deb Kinney says, before you started paying attention and joining into these groups, I'd have never put one of my sketches up for anyone else to see. I'm so glad. Thanks for sharing. It's this has been difficult for me too, because I'm just extremely private. Whatever you say, I'm just not a real sharer with anything. And the art's kind of the most intimate thing I do, so it's always been a weird thing for me. But it is nice to have the nice comments and the support and everything. And it's more about growth than anything else. That's how I look at it. And we all started somewhere. I tell my students all the time that I'm so thankful that nobody ever told me how horrible I was when I started. God, I was bad. Woo-wee. For years I was horrible. But you know what? I just kept doing it, and I was having fun. I didn't even care. And then when you think, you know what? How would I make this better? How would I make this better?
Yeah.
And that question kind of just leads you on and on. So again, the trees, I tried to put some little dots of light back for those houses back there. I don't even know if you can hardly see it in this one. But if you blow it up on the website, you'll be able to see there's a couple of houses, structures just below those dark trees in the background, and I put some light there. So between the light sky, the trees, and that house light, we've got a nice little foreground, middle ground, background focal point right there, all grouped together.
Deb, are you still getting your grandsons to sketch with you? I hope so.
Yeah, remember we're here 3 times a week, 5-minute sketches Sundays, 10-minute sketches on Tuesdays and a 20-minute sketch on Thursday. So, great little fun family activity. It looks like most of us should probably stay pretty tight for the winter, so again, we're going to be doing some fun things on YouTube. I'm thinking about doing feedback on students' work every day in December, every morning, and but we're going to do that on the YouTube channel. So if you're interested in getting some of your work suggestions on some of your work, get it ready to get a good picture of it, get ready to be sent in, and we're going to do that. Oh, check this out. This is great. So Deb gets to sketch with her grandson. He comes over a couple times a week and
That's awesome.
they sketch. So that's the other thing. This is such a fun activity like this, and without being serious. And it's pretty quick too, so nobody gets uptight. You know, Sundays are great. 5 minutes, man.
Yeah.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge. When I was in art school, we'd have, and drawing from the model, we'd start with 30-second warm-ups. The model would take a pose, and we'd have 30 seconds to get a gesture down. And then we'd move to a minute or 2 minute, and then some 5 minutes. So it's good to do a lot so you don't get hung up. Just sketch, have some fun. Again, I'm working on these clouds a little bit because those are going to be the dark shapes against the light sky there. So it plays a big part in this composition. All right, we're a little over halfway through. We got just over 8 minutes left tonight. When we're done, we will do a quick rewind. We'll run through the whole drawing in about a minute so you can see the big patterns happening. Oh, great, Deb, great. You know what? Even if you're not off work, send something in. I'd be happy to do it, and then they'll be there on YouTube. It'll be unfortunate if you can't watch it live, but it'll be there for you to see it later if you got something you're working on. And the work can be anonymous. Doesn't have to be, but I don't have to announce who it is or anything either.
Yeah.
We don't want anybody to be embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, but still. I gets it. I gets it.
But yes, we would love to have you back, Deb. We miss you. Your grandson, I love it.
I love it. So Deb says that her grandson says that she takes lessons from me so that she can teach him when he gets to. That's how it is from one to the next, right? Sharing it. I love it. I love it.
That's great time together.
Yeah, you sketch. You know, the kids love to sketch and color and stuff, anyways, and you know it can be fun for you guys as well. So, great fun activity.
Especially if you're indoors.
Yeah, and if you know, depending on where they were, even if they're in some different place, if you guys wanted to meet once a week and do sketch club together and then share pictures and stuff, a great way to, you know, be involved in the family without necessarily being right next to one another. And you could either do it on your own time limit because the videos will be up, and then share pictures the next day or something if you guys have different schedules.
Because it looked chilly up there today. Karen, you sent that picture of your morning walk, and ooh, there's a lot of ice on that bridge. Oh. I do not complain when it's cold here when I see those pictures.
Uh-oh, are those hills about to come alive?
Uh-oh.
Check this out. Boom.
I want to bust into song for the Sound of Music.
Do it.
No.
Do it. Do
No.
it. Do
No,
it.
no, no, no.
Do it for the people.
No. I'm not warmed up.
All right, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, baby, but that was a key moment right there. You see how I can imply the hills, and then with just a hint of definition, the mind will fill in the rest of them. And then again, just run it through those trees right there. And so then the trees are tied to those hills. And then on the other side, you've got that faint light of the house with the trees there. So I love this idea. I have so many ideas I love. Sometimes they take years and years to get around to, but I'm sure this idea will show up in a painting sooner or later. or some variation on it. Some variation. Okay, about 5 minutes left, guys. So whatever you want to accentuate or whatever, make sure it's accentuated. And then if it's still not strong enough of a focus, maybe think about vaguing some other things out, or the things that are competing with where you want them to focus, making those things a little weaker. Rather than adding anymore, sometimes it's just about taking something out. Right, and then if that light sky shape can be interesting, more interesting than just a flat rectangle or something with interesting cloud formations there, we want to pretty much connect them. But that's where I'd spend more of my time on, is the shapes of the clouds, the shape of the tree, the little light on the house, than I would developing other parts of this. Because that's what will make it seem more finished, by taking the quote-unquote finish or focus into a quote-unquote higher. Sometimes people think of rendering as finish. It doesn't necessarily have to be rendered, but a little more detail, a little more action, a little more contrast. The shape's a little more active. Maybe another sky hole or two in the trees. And then as you work away from that, just less and less and less. I believe here at the end, oh yeah.
I'm using an eraser.
The eraser, again, to augment that light there, right? So I could erase some of the gray and erase some of that white there, so that it's just a softer release up into that part of the sky. And then the part that's not so soft down by the trees seems to be more focused. It's kind of weird how that works. When there's less to focus on, what's left seems like it's more in focus. Whereas if everything is equal, nothing really seems to be in focus.
That looks so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I am going to put up. Hang on. We have had people ask what Jason uses or suggested supplies that he uses during Sketch Club. So under Sketch Club Live on Jason's website, it does talk about suggested supplies. And then also if you are doing Sketch Club on a budget and just want to get started with the bare minimums. So
yeah, there's these wooden things you see me drawing with, they can be a little bit expensive, and then the leads for those are a little bit more expensive. You don't need that. You can just draw with your hand. I did for a long time. It's hard doing that and working cameras and everything at the same time without getting stuff messed up. That's the main. It is nice using these wood handles, but I really started using them because somebody gave them to me and I was working the cameras and drawing, so I needed to stay a little bit cleaner. Mm-hmm. So doesn't take much, but toned paper will definitely give you a leg up. And I usually work and try to get a dark, and this is a charcoal, compressed charcoal. The gray is a vine charcoal. Then I try to use the tone of the paper, and then like a white chalk or white pastel. Anything white, and that'll give you 4 values. And it's really about making these value patterns. Mm-hmm. So, at least for me and working in mass, in terms like a painter, right? Mass rather than line is what I mean. Okay, and so after I go and make harsh marks, what I'll do is I come and I soften some of it up, not all of it, just so that it sits in there a little quieter. And then I can kind of tell you exactly where to look by being really careful with that. Okay, so how did you guys do tonight? I think looks like we got about 30 seconds left on this drawing, so finish up. And if you do go to the website and sketch off time, I do highly recommend coming up and sketching on these timed things, sketching quickly on these timed things. It's more of an exercise than anything, but it'll really help you out. So consider doing that. Of course, this is for fun and you can do what you want, but if you're looking to really improve, do both. Sketch offline and sketch with the time. Okay. Everybody settled in, settled down. So why don't we go back through real quick, the rewind, and see the pattern. Do you have something to say, sweetie?
I was just going to say, how about a rewind?
How about a rewind? Woo! That's a great idea. All right. So again, the rewind's a good way to kind of see things build up over time. And the reason I use charcoal is because it works a lot like oil paint in the fact that you can build it up like you do. All right, so you're gonna see that dark, light, dark thing, I think probably 3, 4, 5 times. I'll come back and re-hit it, wipe it out, come back. But I don't wipe everything out, right? But I want that foreground to be darker and heavier than the middle ground, and then the distant hills, and then the sky to be even lighter than that. We want to orchestrate it all. All right, and there you have it. So I want to remind everybody, December, every day in December, I'm going to try, if I can get the tech set up, to do a feedback on somebody's work every day of December. So that'll be Meyer Studio, YouTube. Get your work ready if you've got some things to do, and get it into us for consideration for some feedback. If you're in class, we'll be here tomorrow morning for some Friday feedback for you guys. And then we'll be back Sunday with Miss Isabella for Sketch Club, 5 minutes.
Yes.
Anything else?
No. Thank you for being here. Thanks for following us. Thanks for liking the videos. We appreciate your support. You guys are awesome.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.